Hello everyone, Dom here from Esports News UK. I'm joined by a very well-known content creator from the US here, Travis Gafford. How's it going, Travis?
Going very well. Really excited to be here at Media Day, interviewing all the pros ahead of MSI.
Yeah, 100%. You've been doing this a long time. And first of all, I want to ask, I've been asking some of the players here and people, what's it like being here in London? What are your thoughts? We met ages ago very briefly at Worlds 2015 at Wembley. What's it like to be back?
So I don't like London. I want to like London. But 2015 when I came here, I ended up sick during that Worlds, and so I was like out of commission right up until the games, and then the weather's just not great. I'm not a huge fan of the food. It's really expensive, and everybody's like, "Well, don't you live in LA?" And I'm like, "Yes, but it's still even more expensive than LA." And also, it's not like I'm like traveling to LA. If you travel to LA, all the hotels and stuff are expensive, so it's cheaper to live than to travel there. But I want to like London. So this will be the longest time I've been here. It's not the fall. It's not the winter. The weather's been nice the last 2 days. Hopefully it stays this way, although I doubt it. Also, why is it so cold? It's like 62 degrees Fahrenheit. It's April. I don't understand.
But this is quite warm today. This isn't bad for us.
It's warm in here, but outside, like I was looking at the weather.
In my t-shirt.
Okay, so what I want it to be is I want it to be like 70 degrees.
Yeah.
And the next 10 days, it's raining for
lots of rainy days.
Yeah, it's raining for like a ton of the time, including the day of the King's coronation. I don't know if that's an omen. And then it doesn't get above 60 degrees from Tuesday, Wednesday to Thursday, which I know doesn't make sense to any of you Celsius people, but it's cold.
Now, I hear you on the weather thing.
Yes.
We do have strange weather, but then we were talking about Florida off camera.
Yes.
That has some odd weather where you get a storm for 20 minutes and then bright sunshine. So they're weird in their own ways.
I mean, Florida is also rubbish, to use
I was teaching Travis UK words.
I'm not a big Florida guy. I like Miami. We did LCS finals in Miami one time, and that was great. But as a Californian, I'm legally required to hate Florida.
Now, the one thing I have to ask about, I know you said you don't like British food. Now, Ashley Kang's kicked up a bit of a Twitter storm this week for saying British food is rubbish, and she's got all the UK esports people all a bit riled up and saying, oh, but you should go to this place, that place. Now, when you say British food, are you talking about traditional British stuff like full English breakfast, fish and chips, or a roast dinner, or are you talking about in general? Because we do have things like Chinese restaurants, Turkish, Indian, and all that.
So I guess I haven't tried as many different places. I definitely don't I think traditional is probably not that great. You guys do beans with breakfast and stuff. That's kind of weird. But
beans on toast, it's lovely.
Beans on toast, yeah, that's strange. But we do that as like a barbecue thing, like for lunch or whatever, and the beans are much better. But I haven't tried as much, but I will say that like last time I went to a restaurant and they had cornbread, and it wasn't cornbread. What I got were like these little corn fritter things, which were not good. Like
that doesn't sound traditionally English, unless I'm wrong with that.
No, I'm just saying every time I order something in London, it always ends up being more disappointing than what I thought it was going to be on the menu. So,
but have you had a full English breakfast?
Again, isn't that just toast on beans or something?
No. So full English breakfast, you will have maybe scrambled egg.
An English muffin should definitely be in English breakfast.
Yeah, maybe. But basically, hear me out. You have, maybe some beans, black pudding.
Okay. What is black pudding?
That's a good question, actually. It's kind of like a pork thing, isn't it? I don't actually know. This is bad for me.
Pudding in America is sweet, which I like. But you guys do like...
Oh, yeah, it's not actual pudding. Yeah, you have it with... But things like sausages...
Yeah.
Hash browns.
I mean, that's
toast.
Fine. Yeah.
Try that. Try one of those.
No, toast and hash browns, that's a universal thing. Yeah. That's not like a British thing.
You are right, actually. Hash browns aren't... I read something the other week. They're not typically British. You're supposed to have buttered potatoes with or something like that. But give that a go. Fish and chips, do you not like that?
No,
salt and vinegar?
I'm not like a big seafood guy, so...
Right, okay. And what about a roast dinner? So you can have beef, chicken, roast potatoes, Yorkshire pudding...
I don't know. Yeah, Yorkshire pudding, I still don't know what it is. It's like a bready type thing.
It's like a batter thing. Yeah, it's really nice with gravy. Do you like gravy?
It's okay.
Vegetables?
It's very heavy.
Yeah. Okay. That's all the UK stuff. I mean, what's it like here? We're at a preview day today. There's a lot of top players here. It must be tough doing what you do, covering all these players.
These are the play-ins teams, so they're not the top players. Don't let anybody... They only have the play-ins teams here today.
Don't tell G2 that.
Yeah. No, well, they should have got first. No, it's been fun. I mean... I have, and many other media people have been pestering for a long time to create something like a formal media day where I think in the past we've had a chance to talk to the executives and stuff, and that's always been really nice. Yeah. But it's really good to start talking to the players before they start losing. And so whenever you get a chance, because like throughout the, I joke a little bit.
Someone talk to you, right? Afterwards,
I joke a little bit, but yeah, like, or they're if they do talk to you, they're in a bad mood or they're stressed out. Even if they're winning, maybe the game didn't go well for them, and so. I just think it's really nice to be able to get in here and like get the energy and excitement that you often don't get once the games start happening,
What's it like, the challenges of being a content creator? Because I know you've done LCS, but you also do these global events.
Yes.
So I find it hard. UK Esports is my thing. That's enough for me, covering the UK League, the NLC, the Regional League here, a bit of LEC. You've got to cover all these things. It's hard, isn't it, following all these leagues?
Well, that's why I mostly stick to LCS in terms of following, and then I think of myself as like the LCS guy when I go to these international events, and I'll catch up and learn like what's been going on with some of the teams that are here, but I still continue to try to. I do think it is really difficult to follow all the different leagues, and I'd rather hone in on LCS because, quite frankly, that's where 80% of my time ends up being, right? But it still is really exciting. I think the biggest thing being a content creator and trying to go to this stuff is like, it's so fucking expensive to cover this stuff, and like this, like gone are the days where you can get like a media company to really pay for you to do this stuff, and so you really have to figure it all out all on your own.
I've got to ask about watching you in the early days. I do associate you with telling Double Lift's story. You followed that guy a lot. Yeah. What are your thoughts on how he is now and telling that whole story? Because for me that was nice, telling that story, getting to know him. And it was through you, a lot of that,
Sure, yeah. No, I mean, I'm really happy he's back in the league because it didn't feel the same without him being there. And so him coming back and me being able to do interviews with him and all that stuff, it feels like no time has changed. So it's been really fun to see him come back, and he's still got it. I mean, he was just a phenomenal ADC by the end of the split and really competitive with some of the best. And so I think a lot of people were kind of rooting for his downfall or like wanted him to be washed, but like he's still on any given day top 5 ADCs, even with a 2-year break. So it's been really cool to have him back.
I'm going to ask you some questions in a minute about London and UK and test you. Like I tested Caps earlier. Sure. But before I do, I know a bit of more of a difficult topic, but this idea now of content creation / journalism, I feel like there's a bit of a divide.
Yes.
Like you've got people like Jake Lucky and people that say he's more content creation, less journalism. Some people describe Ashley, who's here today, as an interviewer. Yeah. I don't know. I feel that might be a little bit unfair at times because you're still pulling out information from players. You're still telling a story. That is part of what a journalist does. But, hey, I asked questions about EastEnders and slang with Caps earlier. That's not hard-hitting journalism either. So what are your thoughts on that whole space?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really difficult, and there's a lot of ego involved in it, right? Because I think the folks who want to say, I'm a journalist, they tend to be like, well, I'm a journalist. Maybe who isn't a journalist and who is and who... It's like very... I don't know. I think there's a lot of ego that goes into it. I don't care anymore. So that's like basically the big thing why I sort of stopped using that term. I don't correct people when they say I'm a journalist. I think that to your point, that term has become so blurred now that I'm like, I'm just not going to use it because I think a lot of people don't feel like I should, and I don't care enough to like fight that. My whole thing has been I'm just going to create the content I'm going to create and put it out there, and then like. People then can decide how they feel about it. The other thing is I would say that, like, obviously this pops up a ton in esports, but I think there's big conversations to be had around this in a lot of different areas. I really like the tech space, and Marquez Brownlee, like, I think some people are unsure of if he would be a journalist or is he a YouTuber, content creator. John Oliver, speaking of Brits, very popular in the US. He has a show that I think is way better than a lot of the journalistic content you see out there, but I think he doesn't consider himself a journalist, and other people would debate whether or not he is. And so ultimately, my whole thing has been like, I don't care. I'm going to just do the things I think I should do. I'm going to do them ethically, and then, if people want to get mad about it or if they want to call me whatever, it's fine. But it's just my content will speak for itself.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I see myself more, as I've grown up and matured, I feel like I'm more of an editor than I am a journalist these days. I get a lot of press releases I edit. And it has become a muddied term, and some people have been saying, is content creation, the things that Jake Lucky does, is that an evolution of journalism? Because we're appealing to the esports crowd, esports fans, if that's the kind of content they want. But then equally, we do have to ask the tough questions and all that. But it's a balance, isn't it? It's a tough one.
I think it ends up becoming a matter of semantics, too.
Yeah.
Like, it's funny because we're having this conversation, but esports has the same issue. Like, what is an esport? What isn't? Like, is a more fun tournament in a certain game not esports, whereas, like, this is esports? Like, the line gets really blurry, and I think oftentimes we get so hung up on terms rather than, like, what the actual content is. And so that's kind of my thought, too, is I'm like, I don't care. Like, I'm going to go do this and other people can do whatever, like a speedrunning esports. I don't know.
That's what it feels like today, 10 minutes with players and things, and you've got to do it quickly, I think you do a good job. And now I want to ask, I asked Caps earlier about this. Have you heard of Cockney rhyming slang?
No. Maybe. So we get all these different videos that I'll see on YouTube of like different accents. Like isn't the Welsh accent very hard to understand?
I'd say possibly. I mean, Welsh, they have their own language as well. They do speak English, but they can speak in Welsh.
So they have that, but then I think isn't there something? I don't know. We get all these. This is very ignorant of me, but we'll get all these YouTube videos where like there's a great video of Patrick Stewart doing the accent from his like hometown, and you can't understand like anything he's saying. And so it is fascinating to me because we have dialects in the U.S., but you can almost understand. It's like very rare that you can't understand. But there's definitely stuff in the UK that I have no idea.
So Cockney rhyming slang is from quite a few years ago now, and I'll give you an example like I gave Caps, and then I'll see if you can get the other two. So if you were to say apples and pears, I'm going up the apples and pears. That means I'm going up the stairs. So I'm going to give you two. You've got to try and guess them. Okay? So dog and bone.
Dog and bone.
It's one word that rhymes with that.
It's one word so it's not. It's just all one word.
Yeah. Like apples and pears would be stairs.
Something phone.
You got it. Pick up the dog and bone is a phone. Caps didn't get that one. Now Caps got the next one. Let's see if you get this one. Steffi Graf, as in the ex tennis player.
Oh, I don't know who. I'm not familiar with the tennis player. Okay. Steffi.
Or would it be Steffi Graf? It's Graf or Graf?
I don't. It sounds the same to me. Is it one word or multiple?
One word. Yeah.
I don't know. You have to tell me.
Laugh.
Laugh.
So that's. I'm having a Steffi Graf.
Yeah. You guys are extending these things.
Yeah. So I didn't say this one with Caps because I was putting him on the spot and he was thinking a lot. I didn't want to stress him out too much. But now this one is a funny one. Jake will probably know this one. Now this isn't. Do you know the Flintstones?
Yeah.
Right. So I'll give you a clue.
It's an American cartoon.
Is it?
Yeah.
Hanna-Barbera. Oh yeah. Barney. What do you think that means now? Yeah.
Oh, Barney. Oh, so it's. And this is also Cockney rhyming.
Yeah. You've got to think of what Barney's surname would be as well.
Flintstone?
Yeah. No.
Oh.
Fred Flintstone and Barney.
Flintstone. Oh. What is his?
Barney Rubble.
Okay. So
something that rhymes with that, one word.
Barney Rubble? Humble?
Nearly trouble. So if you say I'm in Barney, he's in trouble. But these aren't commonly used.
It reminds me of like Zoomer language, like on TikTok. Like when somebody says it's giving, it actually means like it's giving something vibes, but they cut it off. And so like you have to like interpret, you have to like finish the sentence. They're just like chopping things out of it. So it's just fascinating.
You did okay there. Now we're in East London, home to a few things, including EastEnders. Don Jake there's behind the mic with Ruddy Esports is from East London. Have you heard of EastEnders? Do you know what that is?
No.
Okay, so that's a TV show on the BBC, it's like a soap.
I thought it might be something,
And there's a form of music, a genre of music that originated from East London, quite urban, sort of like rap music. Do you know what that is?
No.
Grime music.
Grime music.
So like artists like JME, Dizzy Rascal, you might have heard of. People like Jake, give me some Skepta. You not heard
I don't. I listen to like alternative rock, indie stuff. I don't even listen to any kind of hip hop or R&B. So like, this is all outside of my world.
That's fair enough. We've spoken about British food. Have you been to a pub before? Do you like British pubs?
I mean, we have pubs in America that are like facsimiles of like it'll be like there's one near my place, and it's supposed to feel like you're in like some UK pub.
Right,
yes.
Okay. What do you think of them?
They're fine. I mean, it's just like another bar, right?
Yeah,
like we have dive bars. It's like our thing.
Yeah, we don't have them. I don't even know what they are. Are they when you go up and you just order a drink at the bar, you sit down on a long stool, and then someone threatens to fight you in like American movies?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, the idea is that they are more like grungy bars. Okay. Like people can want to go to a dive bar, but it's kind of the vibe, right? Like it's not upscale, but it still can be kind of cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
A lot of like rock music attachment to a lot of that, etc.
Yeah. Travis, you've been really good to talk to.
Of course.
Is there anything else you want to add, or what you're looking forward to? Maybe who you think might win MSI as well?
Oh God, I have no idea. Golden Guardians. No, I am. I apologize to anyone I've offended with my ignorance about the UK in this interview. I am hopeful that I can end up liking London at some point in time in the future. Like again, I don't want to be a London hater. I just have not had good experiences. So hopefully I can find some Magic the Gathering games here and have a good time, and that'll turn everything around.
Great stuff. Well, good luck, Travis. Thanks for talking to me.
Thank you.
Cheers, and thanks for watching, everyone. We'll be back soon with more content.